start your show now, press 1.
Your show is scheduled to start in 19 seconds.
Yahweh, what's poppin'? Yahweh, what's
Your
up?
show will go live in
Yahweh,
5
what's
seconds.
crackin'? Yahweh, on my mind all day, all night, all my life we praising Yahweh. Come on, yeah, what's good? Yahweh, what's poppin'? Yahweh, what's up? Yahweh, what's crackin'? Yahweh, on my mind all day, all night, all my life we praising Yahweh. Come on. From the start it was Yahweh. He took me from the dark, put him in my heart. So Yahweh, got my mind Yahweh. Show me the times and the laws, the flaws of myself. Yahweh, let me know to turn to him. Only glory Yahweh. Never bragging anything unless it be Yahweh. He the most high, he my king, he my lawgiver, he my savior. And I'm only praising Yahweh. Told me that my name was IshiYAH. That's man of Yahweh. All fire of Yahweh. Whatever it be, you know I rep Yahweh. On my wrist, what does it say? It say praise Yahweh. Y'all can walk another way if you want to, but I'm walking this way. I'm a Israel crew. Full life, ride with my homies that be with Yahweh. Only companions, we praising Yahweh. Come on, yeah, what's good? Yahweh, what's poppin'? Yahweh, what's up? Yahweh, what's crackin'? Yahweh, on my mind all day, all night, all my life we praising Yahweh. Come on, yeah, what's good? Yahweh, what's poppin'? Yahweh, what's up? Yahweh, what's crackin'? Yahweh, on my mind all day, all night, all my life we praising Yahweh. Come on, JC, never mentioned by Yahweh. Nowhere in the holy scriptures do you see Yahweh. Mixing this cat you call your YISraEL, YAH'S or whatever y'all calling him, it ain't Yahweh. Quran never spoke about the man Yahweh. I mean the name Yahweh, the holy one Yahweh. Not a man that he shall lie, or the son of man that he shall repent. And y'all think he sent somebody that could get killed? What you talking? Yahweh died, man. Come on, man. You thinking that Yahweh lied, man? You frontin' now. If you just open the scriptures, you'll see it right there in Isaiah 34 and 16. Yahweh only got one book, so let's look in it. Don't get too shook, minister, reverend, pastor, whoever you are, you spitting disaster if you ain't praising the Most High. Who is Yahweh? What's good? Yahweh, what's poppin'? Yahweh, what's up? Yahweh, what's crackin'? Yahweh, on my mind all day, all night, all my life we praising Yahweh. Come on, yeah, what's good? Yahweh, what's poppin'? Yahweh, what's up? Yahweh, what's crackin'? Yahweh, on my mind all day, all night, all my life we praising Yahweh. Come on.
Man who put his trust in Yahweh Elohim. When he says the remnant, it'll be like they dream. My friends just remind me to never go a horn. Yahweh's laws are my love, I'll ever adore them. I write them down on paper to get them in my heart. I meditate and recite the laws as I walk. The fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, lies, and pride. To break one of the least laws shows him that you despise.
Yeah, what's good? Yahweh, what's poppin'? Yahweh, what's up? Yahweh, what's crackin'? Yahweh, on my mind all day, all night, all my life we praising Yahweh. Come on, yeah, what's good? Yahweh. nation. Yahweh has said that Israel is his firstborn nation. And no other else have risen up and gave us his prophets. Rising up early to tell us that no weapon shall prosper. We say Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. Oh, Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. Yahweh's the one that calls us to walk on dry land out of Egypt. Gave us manna and gave us waters out of our afflictions. Yahweh is king and there is no one besides him. Who raised us from dirt, prophesied the dry bones brought strength to our limbs. We say Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. Oh, Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. Oh, Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. Oh, Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. We say, Yahweh be magnified. Let Yahweh be magnified. 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 Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. Oh, Yahweh is righteous. Oh, Yahweh is holy. Oh, just dust the dirt off your shoulders. Live in truth and get bolder and bolder. Live in justice and get bolder and bolder. Live in judgment and get bolder and bolder. Yah's gonna deliver us soon. Babylon is over. I'm headed to the holy city, the holy city. The city of Dawid, the holy city. Heart Zion, the holy city. YAH'S is the holy city. I'm headed to the holy city, the holy city. I'm headed to the holy city, the holy city. Shake off the dust. The Almighty, come on. We gonna be free, yeah. And magnify the Almighty, yeah. We gonna be free, yeah. And only praise the Almighty, yeah. We gonna be free, yeah. And magnify the Almighty. Shake off the dust. Letter to Zion.
Please hear, O Israel, this is a song for the sinner. Cleanse me from iniquity, and please wash me from my sins, O Yah. Have mercy on my soul. I pray that you take away this emptiness in my bones. Only to you, oh Yah. We don't deserve you, but we're going to serve you and keep all your laws. And I say, we don't deserve you, but we're going to serve you and keep all your laws. We don't deserve you, but we're going to serve you and keep all your laws. And I say, please hear, O Israel, this is a song for the sinner. Cleanse me from iniquity, and please wash me from my sins, oh Yah. Have mercy on my soul. I pray that you take away this emptiness in my bones. Only to you, oh Yah. We don't deserve you, but we're going to serve you
and keep all your laws. And I say, we don't deserve you, but we're going to serve you and keep all your laws. Only to you, oh Yah.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to the Holy One of Israel, to the Creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is, by saying hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous, Yah is holy, and let Yahweh be magnified. Once again, the Creator has allowed us to come before you another day, bringing to you his great, holy, and exalted words, even the words of truth. My name is Mowreh IshYAH of the house of Israel, located right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 1907 Vine Street, bringing to you nothing but the truth. And yes, it is true. All we're going to do is tell you the truth, for Yah ordained me to tell you the truth. And this is what I'm going to do. And who is this Yah? Yah is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is. Yah is the Elohim of our fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and YIsraEL, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yah is our king, he's our judge, he's our lawgiver, and Yah is our only Savior, and not just of Israel. Yah is the Savior of the world. And once again, the Creator has allowed us to bring to you his great, holy, and exalted words. This week, we've been dealing with the reasons in which one should be seeking the Most High. We've been dealing with the way in which one should seek the Most High. And we even brought to you some of the signs of how one will seek the Most High, because there's only one way to seek the Most High, and that is through humility. You have to humble yourself. And we showed you some of the signs of the humble, of the meek. And when you seek the Most High, the Creator lets us know that if you seek him, you shall find him. But there's other things that Yahweh also wanted us to seek. And learning to seek these things is essential for the last days. Now, this won't mean much to someone who believes that we're not in the last days, or believe they have all kind of unlimited time to get themselves together. We have many in our community who believe that Yahweh don't see every day and every night, every moment, every hour, every second, because they don't watch their steps every moment, every hour, every second. Their steps are consistently in a slippery mode, according to the scriptures. but we serve a true and living Elohim. And it's very important to understand that. And just to show you that time is not unlimited. And to show you how important time is. Your enemies tell you that time is important, you believe it. Your jobs tell you time is important, you believe it. But when it comes to the Most High, for some strange reason, we don't believe it. And let me show you this. First of all, in the book of Proverbs, the first chapter. In the book of Proverbs, the first chapter. And I'm going to start reading the 22nd verse. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and the fools hate knowledge. How long? Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I've called and you refused. I've stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But you have said at nothing all my counsel, and would have none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes. And when your fear comes as desolation, and your destruction comes as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish comes upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me earnestly, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. And see, when you choose the fear of Yahweh, every day, every moment, every hour, when you allow yourself to be haughty, you allow yourself to be prideful and arrogant and wicked. See, the wicked and the arrogant and the haughty and the prideful, they actually believe they got away with something. And they also believe they are justified in their attitudes. But we're going to see how justified one is in a time of trouble. And that's when nobody seen the work for. They never try to store up as much goodness as they can, righteousness as they can for the bad days. You know how they tell you, you want to keep some money stored away for the rainy days. You never know what can come. You never know what can happen. So you put something aside so when that rainy day comes, you prepared. Well, that wisdom is also the wisdom of life in Yah. Trouble will come. But what have you stored up to prepare yourself for the trouble that's prophesied to come? Here it is. The Almighty said, when your destruction come, the whirlwind come, when your distress and anguish come, you think your distress and anguish is one another. You ain't seen no distress. You ain't seen no anguish. You fooling yourself. You tricking yourself. You think you got it all figured out. And you don't. Because your way is not the fear of Yahweh. The fear of Yahweh looks a certain way. Let's continue reading. 28th verse again. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me earnestly, but they shall not find me. Even though all over the book, if you seek me, you shall find me. Why? Because of time. And people still today seem to believe, seem to think that they still have time to be a fool. And you don't. Your time is running out. And for many, the time is gone. You've expired already. Watch. Let's continue this. Watch this. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose, because it's your choice, the fear of Yahweh. They were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. And what is reproof? And what is counsel? Well, counsel is the wisdom that Yahweh give us through his words. That can come out of his book, but that can come out of the mouth of man. And likewise reproof. Because what is Yahweh's reproof? His correction. And there's a lot of people that hate to be corrected. They don't even want to hear correction. And why? Because they think they got it figured out. But they don't. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way. In other words, since you got it figured out, since you know what's happening, what's going on, and since you're right, and you think you can do what you want to do, say what you want to say, act the way you want to act, you're going to eat that. That's what you're going to eat. And be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But watch this 33rd verse. But whoever listens to me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. In other words, I want you to see this contrast. Because we're talking about the way in which you seek the Most High, the reason in which you seek the Most High. And here in Proverbs, the first chapter, it says you're going to seek him and you're going to call upon him, but he's not going to answer. And you're not going to find him. And there's only one reason why such a thing could happen. There's only one reason why such a thing will happen. Is because you thought you still can act a fool. And you didn't listen. You didn't listen to the call, the counsel of Yahweh. Every day we come before you, we counseling you with the word of Yahweh. We reproving you with the word of Yahweh. But you refuse to be corrected. And many refuse to listen. But those who do listen shall dwell safely. And what will they dwell safely from? From Yahweh himself. Because it is Yahweh who said he was going to bring desolation, destruction, as a whirlwind, distress, and anguish. All that will happen. He already spoke it. He already purposed it for a specific time. And that time is at hand. How do we know? Because that's what we're telling you now. We wouldn't even tell you about this time. We'll be telling you something else. Furthermore, just to show you how important time is, go to the book of Amos, the 8th chapter. In the book of Amos, the 8th chapter, just want you to see this. We're going to start reading at the 9th verse, Amos 8 and 9. And this is what it says. And it shall come to pass in that day, says Yah Elohim, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon. And I will darken the earth in the clear day. And no, that's not an eclipse. This is something that you had never seen. And you're only going to see it this one time. And I will turn your feasts into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation, and I will bring up sackcloth upon all loins, baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the mourning for an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. And watch what this says now. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Do you understand what this is saying? When Yahweh said, you shall seek me, if you seek me, you shall find me. But there's a time limit. See, when you seek the Most High and you don't find the Most High, you won't find his words. You won't find the true and living Elohim. Nor will you find his messengers. And let me show you this. In the book of 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter. This is why it's so important to understand what it means to seek the Most High. And when to seek the Most High. We showed you in the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter. You're going to seek him, but you're not going to find him. Why? Because you did not choose the fear of Yahweh. So when your anguish and your distress, your desolation and your destruction comes as a whirlwind, you're going to call. Make no mistake about it. You will call out. Make no mistake about it. You will seek the Most High. But it's going to be too late. Because you thought you can act a fool a little bit longer. You can be arrogant and prideful and haughty one more day without understanding what time you're really in. Watch what this says. 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter. And the spirit of Elohim came upon Azariah, the son of Oded, and he went out to meet Asa, and said to him, hear you me, Asa, all Yehuda and Benjamin, Yahweh is with you while you are with him. And ask yourself, is Yahweh with you? And only one way to tell if Yahweh is with you, and that is that you are with him. And you can't be a fool, arrogant, haughty, prideful, wicked, and then in the same breath say Yahweh is with me. No. Watch what it says. And if you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will forsake you. And this is the verse that I want you to see. For a long season, Israel has been without the true Elohim, without a teaching priest, and without the law. Because if you don't have the word of Yahweh, and Yahweh said a famine shall come upon the land, not of thirst, not of bread, but of the hearing of the word of Yahweh. And that's what you hear today. You're hearing the word of Yahweh, not the word of Peter, not the word of Paul, not the word of JC, not the word of Matthew, Luke, and John. You're hearing the word of Yahweh, not the word of Muhammad, not the word of Haile Selassie, not the word of no man. You're hearing the word of Yahweh. And how long do you think you will be hearing this? And how long or how much Will you value it? Fourth verse. But when they in their trouble did turn unto Yahweh Elohim of Israel and sought him, he was found of them. Because Yahweh, he know how to get your attention. And there's only one way to get Israel's attention. And let me tell you how that is. It's called trouble. Trouble. He bring trouble. Then Israel sing to know how to cry. And typically, Yahweh says, if you turn to him in your trouble and seek him, you're going to be found. He's going to be found. But then there's a time you're going to seek him and he's not going to be found. Now you might ask, Mowreh, when is that time? Nobody knows when it's too late. Everybody should know that you don't have time to waste. That's the last thing you want to waste is time. Waste money, waste this, waste that, but not no time. Not when it comes to the Most High. Again, a famine will come upon the land of hearing the word of Yahweh. It will be a time where Yahweh said if you seek him, you won't find him. So ask yourself, what is the holdup? What are you waiting for? Why are you still acting like a fool? Because in the end, and people don't consider their end, in the end, you're going to wish you didn't act like a fool. Let's show you some more. What will happen and what your works is storing for. You think if you humble yourself today, something good's supposed to happen tomorrow. But that's not how it works. Your humility today, your good today, your righteousness today is really helping you for the time to come. And it's all about time. You got to know time. And I can understand our people not knowing time. Let me show you something in the book of Daniel. I can understand why we are so confused. In the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, this is what it says. And I'm going to start reading. Yeah, 23rd verse. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And how do you think he's going to wear out the saints of the Most High? Watch this. This is and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until the times and times, and a dividing of times. So time itself is prophesied to change under the authority, under the kingdom of the wicked. And here it is. You think you got all the time in the world. You believe the end is not even near. Therefore, you think I can be a fool a little bit longer. I can be haughty a little bit longer and arrogant. Even if Yahweh say, look, in 3 days, in 10 days, in 5 days, I'm going to destroy everything. Let me tell you what you will see. You'll see the world go crazy. And let me tell you what Israel will do. They will go crazy with the world. Ask somebody what they would do if they only had a day or 2 days or 3 days left. And ask them what they would do. Not so with the righteous. That's not what the righteous do. I'm going to show you what the righteous do when time is of the essence. And here it is, the beast. Change the times. Change the laws. And we're operating on his time when we should be operating on Yahweh's time. Again, let me further show you why time is so essential. In the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, why are we even talking about time? I thought we were supposed to be talking about the way in which you seek the Most High, the reason in which you seek the Most High. Well, little do you know that if you don't know the time, and our people don't, then how can you know your purpose? And what is the purpose? And this is time to seek the Most High. And if you don't know that, any and everything you think you know is no good. It's not good at all. In the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the very first verse, it says, to everything there is a season. To everything there's a season. And a time to every purpose under the heaven. There's a time to every purpose under heaven. And there is and to everything there's a season. A season in itself means time, an appointed time. And it lets you know all the various different times to help your mind to understand there's a time for everything. And to every time, and there's a time to every purpose under the heaven. This is essential. This is important to know. And a long time ago, the Creator always told us, He never told us, consider our beginning. Know your beginning. In other words, that's the African proverbs. Know where you come from. Know your origin. Know your beginning. And it is good to know that. It is important to know that. But Yahweh, He teaches us to consider our end, our latter end. Yahweh tell us the end is better than the beginning. And I want you to see this so you can understand why time is so important in seeking the Most High. In the book of Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, the 2nd verse. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter. Now, who tell you that? It's better to have sorrow than laughter. Sorrow is better than laughter. What kind of wisdom is this? The wisdom of Yahweh. That's what type of wisdom is this. For by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. But the heart of fools is in the house of gladness. In other words, they want to party all the time. They want to be happy all the time. They want to be on Facebook rejoicing all the time. But not so with the wise. Better is the end. Watch the 8th verse. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Yeah, look what I did. Look what I said. Well, you should have been patient. But since you wasn't patient, your end is going to look different than what you thought. Time, brothers and sisters, time. And our people are running out of time. And why? Because they don't know what time it is. And let me show you once again what time it is. In the book of Hosea, the 10th chapter. And being in this time, you got to know what to seek. And I'll show you some of the things that Yahweh said you have to seek in the last days, in your latter days of your time. Watch this in the book of Hosea, the 10th chapter, the 12th verse. Sow to yourselves in righteousness. Reap in mercy. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek Yahweh till he comes and rains righteousness upon you. See, it's time to seek Yahweh. That's all we've been talking about is seeking Yahweh. Now, there'll be some that say, no, it ain't time to seek Yahweh. That ain't how you seek Yahweh. All this seeking Yahweh mess. I'm going to laugh when the end don't happen. Talking about seeking Yahweh and it's the end. I'm going to laugh at them. Yeah, somebody's going to laugh. And I can assure you, it won't be you. You will not be the one laughing. But somebody will be laughing. You're right about that. It is time to seek Yahweh. Why is it time to seek Yahweh? Because Yahweh wants you to seek him. And Yahweh know the only time you're going to seek him is in the time of trouble. You're not going to seek him no other time. And many and most will seek him when it's too late. When the trouble is here and it's too late. Now, the thing you didn't choose was the fear of Yahweh will be your undoing because you wouldn't hear his words. You will have none of his counsel. You will not. You despise all his reproof, his correction. So therefore, you wouldn't listen. And isn't that the very thing that we were bringing to you yesterday? The ability to hearken and listen. That's how we know you're humble. And our people don't listen. So we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the whirlwind of Yahweh will sweep you up. Not because Yahweh wanted to, but because you wouldn't listen and you didn't heed his warnings. And the whirlwind of Yahweh is coming. It will happen. And the sun will go down at noon or the middle of the day as Yahweh has prophesied. And look what Yahweh, from the beginning of the time, I want you to see what he's looking for, what he's looking at. See, when you become humble, Yahweh will show you things. And when you seek him, you're going to find things. Let me show you a couple other things Yahweh told us to seek. Since we're in the book of Hosea, book of Hosea, watch this in the 3rd chapter. And watch this, how this is just referring to the last days. It's always the latter days. Why? Because the end is better. The end of a thing is better than the beginning. Watch this. Hosea, the 3rd chapter, the 4th verse. For the children of Israel shall dwell many days without a king, without a prince, without a sacrifice, without an image, without an ephod and a cherubim. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek Yahweh their Elohim. That's one of the things you should be seeking. That's what he told you to seek. But little do people know another thing he told you to seek. Watch what it says. And David, their king. You notice it didn't say, and the son of David, their king. The cousin of David, their king. The nephew of David, their king. The offspring of David, their king. The root of David, their king. No. David, their king. And shall fear Yahweh and his goodness in the latter days. The latter days of what? Their captivity. Their captivity. It couldn't be talking about the latter days of us being in a land. We're not even in a land. We're in captivity. Who's thinking about this end? The righteous. The righteous is always thinking about the end. Just like in the book of Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter. Show you the righteous is always thinking about their end. Because it says the heart of the wise is in the house of the mourning. In the book of Zephaniah, the 2nd chapter. First verse, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired, before the decree bring forth, before the day passes as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yah comes upon you, before the day of Yahweh's anger comes upon you. And I'm going to show you how Yahweh anger looks, how it really looks. Because he describes it. Seek you Yahweh, all you meek of the earth. And why the meek? Because that's the only ones going to seek Yahweh anyway, the meek of the earth, which have worked his judgment. And what judgment is that? The judgment of righteousness and humility. Then he says, seek righteousness. And you're going to see why he says seek righteousness. Seek meekness. It may be you shall be hidden in the day of Yahweh's anger. That's why all week long we've been talking about the ways in which you seek Yahweh, the reasons in which you seek Yahweh, and how the only way you can seek the Most High is through humility, humbleness. And then you got an opportunity for Yahweh to hear you. But in seeking Yahweh, there's things you begin to see. There's things you begin to know. There will be things you will begin to do because you sought the Most High. It ain't because of you. It ain't because of some great understanding you now you got, which you will have, because the Creator said, they that seek him shall understand all things. And you're going to be able to understand all things. Why? Because you sought the Most High. But Yahweh, he does all these things for himself, for his glory, for his righteousness' sake. for his name's sake, for his mercy's sake and his goodness' sake, for his own sake, Yahweh do these things. And what we're trying to get you to understand, what we're trying to get you to know, is why you got to taste and see the goodness of Yahweh. In the book of Psalms 34, watch what it says. The 8th verse. O taste, and see that Yahweh is good. Blessed is the man that trusts in him. O fear Yahweh, you his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him. Young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but they that seek Yahweh shall not want any good thing. And this is, the word is simple, it's plain to him that can understand. Unfortunately, everybody can't understand. And since they can't understand, since they refuse to seek the Most High, this is what was prophesied in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter. See, Yahweh is not going to give you the good side without giving you the bad. He wants you to know both sides of the coin. He wants you to know heads, but he also wants you to know tails. Because then you have no escape. I didn't know Yahweh. Yeah, you did. I never heard that Yahweh. Yeah, you did. Only if I knew Yahweh, you still wouldn't have did it. Only if somebody told me Yahweh, you still wouldn't have did it. Only if I had somebody to show me Yahweh, you still wouldn't have followed it. See, Yahweh know all these things. Watch this in the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter. Fourth verse. But you, O Daniel, shut up the word, seal the book, even to the time of the end. Why we keep talking about the end? Because better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And even though knowledge is increased, and even though many shall run to and fro, watch, and knowledge has increased. I was watching some little commercial, and now all you got to do is where during my lifetime to watch TV, you used to have to get up and turn the channel by hand. In my lifetime. Then they invented the remote, called the remote control. And you can stand on the other side of the room and change the TV. And that was a miracle of a invention. Because knowledge increased. And now you don't even have to use you can just speak to the remote. and it will change the channel. You don't have to go turn your lights on and off. You can just speak and it will do it. Almost like they want you to be the Most High. Yahweh said, let it be light, and there was light. And here it is, you say, not Yahweh, but you'll say Alexia or somebody else. Turn on the music, turn on the light, shut the door, do this, do that. Watch what this says. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank of the river, the other on this side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? Because you got to know there's things are coming to an end. Whenever it is, the end is coming. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to the heaven, and swore by him that lives forever, that it shall be for a times and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And our people don't feel like their power is scattered at all. They feel like all they got to do is vote their way out of it. March their way out of it. Pray their way out of it. And I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, my master, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Well, who do you think was going to unseal these words? Who you think was going to unseal this understanding? And this is how you know whether these words was unsealed. That was meant for the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. But the wise shall understand. That's how you know that the words are unsealed. Because the wise is going to understand these words. But the wicked, they're going to continue to be haughty, prideful, arrogant, backbiting, foolish, just plain old wicked. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. And our people think this thing is talking about some animal sacrifice. And the only reason they think this is talking about some animal sacrifice is because they don't understand. This is not talking about no animal sacrifice at all. They have no clue that this has been unsealed. 1,290 days. And what is 1,290 days? And watch the 12th verse. Blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,330 days. Do you think that just don't have no meaning at all? These words is in this book and don't have no significance at all? And you honestly believe this was not going to be unsealed? Well, it has been unsealed. And we're going to explain it to you. And we really already have, but we're going to more detailed explanation of these things. But go your way till the end is, for you shall rest and stand in your lot at the end of days, because the end is coming. It's coming. It's really already here. But the wicked, they're not going to understand that anyway. None of the wicked shall understand. The wise, they're going to understand. They're going to understand to the extent that they will not allow themselves to get caught up with the wicked. Still in Hosea. Well, that was Daniel, but go back to Hosea, the 6th chapter. Because seeking Yahweh is all about time. It's all about time. It's all about purpose. Watch this in the book of Hosea, the 6th chapter, the 1st verse. Come and let us return unto Yahweh, for he has torn, and he will heal us. He has smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. In the 3rd day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. When will that day be? Well, the wise, they understand what this is saying. But the wicked, none of the wicked shall understand. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know Yahweh, his going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come to us as the rain, as the latter and former rain to the earth. And how is that?
90 seconds.
Through his words. That's how that is. Watch this. I want to continue reading a little bit. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto you? O Yehuda, what shall I do unto you? For your goodness is as a morning cloud, and as the early dew, it goes away. Therefore have I healed them down by the prophets. I've slain them by the words of my mouth, and your judgments are as the light that goes forth. And this is the bottom line to what Yahweh just said. For I desire mercy and not sacrifice. Now, ask yourself, and we talked about this last week, that is the first thing that Yahweh said how he will save us for his mercy's sake. Nobody talking about Yahweh's mercy's sake. And nor are they telling you how Yahweh loved mercy so much that he desired mercy and not sacrifice. You think the arrogant and the haughty and the prideful and the wicked desire mercy? No, they desire revenge. They desire vengeance. They desire to get even. They desire to get over. They desire a wicked device that has been planted in their heart and mind. For I desire mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of Elohim more than burnt offerings. And here it is. People think they have knowledge that they don't have. You know they don't have the knowledge because they're not teaching these things. They're not telling you these things. And the people that reject these things, they themselves is not talking about this. And they themselves don't understand this. Yahweh wants you to have the knowledge of Elohim. And if you have it, then why aren't you telling the people the truth? This is the knowledge that they must have. And why? Because this is the knowledge that you have to have in the end of times. This is the knowledge that you have to have in the latter days. This is the knowledge that you got to have when it's time to seek Yahweh. And it is time to seek Yahweh. It is that time. And then you ask yourself, when we seek him, and then we find him, what will we find? Then you're going to find everything. That's why the scripture says, they that seek him, or they that seek me, shall understand all things. And let me show you what Yahweh is looking for in you. Once you seek him, then he's looking for this thing right here. Watch this. That's why he told you not only to seek meekness. Watch this in the book of Genesis, the 7th chapter. The very first verse. In the book of Genesis 7:1, and Yahweh said unto Noah, come you and all your house into the ark, for you have I seen righteous before me in this generation. And so that's what Yahweh is looking for. That's what Yahweh trying to see. He's trying to see your righteousness. That's what he looked for in Noah. That's why Yahweh told you to seek righteousness, seek meekness, because that's what he's looking for. He's looking for you to be humble, and he's looking for you to be righteous. This is why he's telling you to seek these things, And this is why he's telling you to seek him first, because only he and he himself can help you to become righteous and humble. Watch this. Genesis 18. In the book of Genesis 18, the 23rd verse. Let's start at 21. I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come to me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from there and went toward Sodom. And Abram stood yet before Yahweh. And Abraham drew near and said, will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Why? Because Yahweh is always looking for the righteous. Perhaps there are 50 righteous within a city. Will you also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from you to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And Yahweh said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. For their sakes. Because Yahweh is always looking for the righteous. No wonder he told you to seek righteousness. No wonder he told you to seek meekness. Because he's looking for those characters, those people. Yahweh told you to love mercy. Why? Because he's looking for the merciful. For the merciful, he will be merciful. So Yahweh's looking for that. These are some of the things that Yahweh unsealed that Daniel himself could not understand everything. And we're going to show you those things that he himself could not understand. And this man was one of the most righteous men that ever lived. Furthermore, in the book of Genesis 22 or 20, first verse, and Abraham journeyed from there toward the south country, dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said to Sarah's wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But Elohim came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, behold, you are but a dead man, for the woman which you have taken, for she is a man's wife. And watch what Abimelech said. But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, O Yahweh, will you slay also a righteous nation? Said he not to me, she is my sister? And she, even she herself said, this is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands have I done this. You hear what he said? Will you slay also a righteous nation? Because these are all the things Yahweh is looking for anyway. This is why he told you to seek these things. And our people are spending a lot of time seeking things, but it's not righteousness. It's not meekness. It's not Yahweh. Nor is it David. Why would Yahweh tell you to seek David? And why is David so important that we need to seek him? Well, let us see why. In the book of Malachi. The 3rd chapter. Watch what it says. Malachi 3:1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the master whom you seek, what master you seek? What Lord do you seek? What Adonai do you seek? What ruler do you seek? It was only one, David. That was the only man that Yahweh told you to seek other than himself. Shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in. Behold, he shall come, says Yahweh of hosts. But who may endure the day of his coming? Who may endure the day of his coming? Because you think his coming is going to be like real bad. Who's going to endure that day? No. Who may endure the day of his coming? That just means the message in which he brings. Are you going to be prepared for it? Are you going to have enough room in your life for it? Who's going to endure? Who can get the volume of the message in which he will bring? Watch what it says. And who shall stand when he appears? Who's going to stand for the right thing? Who's going to do the right thing? Who's going to stand up and be counted? Who's going to stand in the gap? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap. In other words, he like the things that clean you real good, but it's nothing that you really want to go through. Who want to go through the fire? Who want to be washed with fuller soap? And he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. He shall purify the sons of Levi, purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yahweh an offering in righteousness. Yeah, this is what he's going to do. This is why Yahweh said, and seek David. Because who do you think Yahweh will use in the last days to clean you up? To refine you? To make you shine? And do you think this will be those who will not listen? Or those who will listen? Let me show you how they will look in the book of Ezekiel, the 14th chapter. Ezekiel 14. And it's real simple. Matter of fact, this is the last scripture. In the book of Ezekiel 14, 22nd verse. Yet, behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and you shall see their way and their doings. And you shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when you see their ways and their doings. And you shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, says Yahweh Elohim. And do you think this is talking about the foolish, the arrogant, the prideful, the haughty, the wicked? No, not at all. This is talking about the righteous that's working the judgment of Yahweh. So until tomorrow, Yahweh loves you, and so do I. Shalom.
I want everybody to stand up, rise to their feet for the great King. Give it up for Yahweh, everybody. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Hallelujah. Give it up for Yah. Praise the Most High. Get up. The Elohim of Yisrael. Yahweh, the Most High. He not a man that he should lie.
Come on, give it up for the Most High, give it up for the Most High, praise Yah. Give it up for the Most High, give it up for the Most High, hallelujah. Give it up for the Most High, give it up for the Most High, praise Yah. Give it up for the Most High, give it up for the Most High, hallelujah. Give it up for the Most High, give it up for the Most High, praise Yah. Give it up for the Most High, give it up, yeah. Giving glory to Yah Elohim, Israel's mighty king, the one who make my heart clean. Put water in the stream, giving peace in my scene. No release from his dreams, took needles from the fiends. Jam hollows in the magazine, swallow this communicate. Every word that Yah say, gotta fear him every day. Trembling when I pray, commencing in his holy way. Many people they will hate when looking never from their evil state. Pride and arrogance, Yah abominate. All pagans I consolidate, they will all meet the same fate. Grind them easy like cheese grate, stuff them all in the pie like you eating cheesecake. Put them all to the fire, watch the beast obliterate. Nah, I can't commiserate. Yahweh for my plate. Not a Yahweh when he taking bodies like Super 8. The roll bitter to you, but honey to my taste. Come on. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Praise Yah. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Hallelujah. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Praise Yah. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Hallelujah. I know you always looked at me wrong. Just thought I was nothing, just a dance in the song. A gun in the hand, a slave on your land, or gold in the sand. Though I'm the perfect mold of a man. Know that I'm the apple of his eye, his beautiful wife. I'm etched in the palm of his hands. The glory of his light, I'm placed on the right. Israelite, the love of his life. Who's his? What's his? Know the biz. Please let him know the name of his. Yod hey, wad hey. Need an explanation of this. Yahweh, Elohim, creator of all there is. Now formalities out of the way. Next is casualties and the people you slay. False deities you pray, hope hear you someday. What you expect from the plastic you make? It can't sleep, walk, talk, or eat, let alone do anything great. They fake, Yah real Israel. Who would be when your knees become loose to the sea? Bowing the heat, all praises to the great King. Give it up for Yahweh, come on. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Praise Yah. Give it up for the Most High. Give it up for the Most High. Hallelujah. Give it up for the Most High.